And welcome back to the Cup of Joe show. I'm Joe, that's Jeremy, and we both went to Bishop Hannon High School. Represent Golden Lancers, mark of victory. That's the only part of the song anybody knows, because it's awesome. Anyway, yeah, we didn't plan this, but it's happening, so, let's just pretend it's not, okay? This is our usual movie show, and we're gonna get right to it. We have a lot to talk about. We missed an episode last week. We have lives, and we just have to do things sometimes.
He has a life.
That's true. You're getting a life, So we're gonna jump in. We're gonna do this show a little different. We're gonna do box office first. We're gonna do the upcoming films, and then we're gonna review the two movies that we saw last weekend in the great weekend that it was. So we could have more time to talk about it at the end. So right now we're just gonna jump into the box office with Jeremy. What do you got for us?
Okay, alright, just gonna try to go through this pretty quickly. In fifth last week was Fury, that made 5.6, down 36%, 69.4 million weekend. Pretty much what I've said every weekend, that's solid. Fourth place was Ouija, that fell 45% to 5.9 million, total of 43.3 million. I expected this to fall a lot harder after Halloween, so color me impressed. Third place, Gone Girl, that was down just 27%, 6.2, total of 145.5 million. This movie just keeps trucking along. Probably going to make like 160, 165-ish, which is really, really good for a hard R movie of this kind. And their number two movies engaged in a battle, and they were the real story of the weekend. Settling for second place was Interstellar, and that opened to 47.5 million. And it had like a weird release pattern where it was like kind of in theaters on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So in total it has 49.6 million. Especially to Christopher Nolan, fanboys and some box office aficionados, that's kind of a disappointing mark. I think people were expecting, more along the lines of like mid-50s, maybe even 60 or over, more on par with Inception. So, that's a little bit of a letdown. It's also a letdown because it's less than Gravity.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that later. Especially considering this time of year and, what the holiday season can do for movies, there's still, plenty of time for Interstellar to go to work. So we'll just have to see how people respond in the weeks to come. But our number one picture was Big Hero 6, and that opened to 56.2 million. 2 years ago, or was it 3? No, it was 2. Wreck-It Ralph opened on this same weekend to 49 million, so Big Hero 6 was able to improve on that mark, considering the success and, how much people liked Wreck-It Ralph, and to a greater extent, the success and how much people loved Frozen. Disney's riding high right now. So, this is a good opening. And, it's also based on a Marvel thing, so you got that going for you. Did I say how much it opened to?
I think you said 50. I think so. 56.
Mm-hmm. That's important. So, that's a really good opening. It's a kids' movie, should play well through the holidays. If it follows the Wreck-It Ralph pattern, it'll end up at like 215. I think it'll do a little better, so could be talking more like 230. Wouldn't be terribly surprised to see Big Hero 6 go for 250, but we'll see.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking, Interstellar is probably gonna. I think it's probably going to have good legs because it's getting both like positive and negative, and people are talking about it. So I think that interesting. Like it's going to be like positive word of mouth and negative word of mouth, and people are just going to like, okay, I have to see it to see what side I fall on. But we'll get there. And nice opening for Big Hero 6, well deserved, I think. But that's what we'll get to later. Gone Girl, hanging on, man. I can't believe it's hanging on as well as it is.
She
actually
ain't gone yet.
No, yes, seriously, right? Oh man,
I'm here all week.
Yep. And Ouija, like, why isn't that movie crashed and burned yet? I don't understand. people hate it. Why are people still seeing it? I don't know. But anyway, that's the box office. So we're gonna move in. Well done as always, and we'll move into this weekend's upcoming films. I only know, the only one I know that's actually coming out is Dumb and Dumber 2, T.O. Which this time, it actually makes sense because they're dumb. So like T.O. I'm fine with that title. So okay, I have no interest. That being said, I have no interest. The first one was very, very good, and this one, it's. I just 20 years later, I personally just don't care. That's really my feelings about the movie itself.
Okay, well, also coming out this weekend is Beyond the Lights. I don't even know what this movie is. It's opening in only 1,800 theaters. I don't think it'll be a factor. It might not even crack the top 5. Just wanted to mention it. Also, Birdman is expanding into 857 theaters, which is technically a wide release, but doesn't really seem like it.
Yeah.
But, if you want to go see it, you probably can this weekend. You might have to go for a little bit of a drive if you're in more of a rural area. But it's there. We're going to talk more about Birdman in depth next week.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is it's here. It's here with us. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, but it's here. And yes, we will talk about it next week, definitely, along with Nightcrawler. So, any more thoughts on the upcoming films this week?
Well, I'm a really big Dumb and Dumber fan. I love the original, but 20 years is a long time. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels kind of just look too old.
That's true.
To be doing that kind of thing. There are parts of the trailer that are funny. There are other parts that are just like, and much like Anchorman 2, I kind of don't want to see it because I feel like it's just gonna make the first one worse, and I don't want to do that.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Okay, so that being said, we will now move into the one of the most talked about films this year, Interstellar, and then the movie that beat it out, Big Hero 6. What do you want to start with? I don't know what to start with.
Let's start with Big Hero 6 because we're probably going to talk about Interstellar more.
It's a simple film. All right, so starting with Big Hero 6, I really liked it. It's not as good as Wreck-It Ralph or Frozen, but that's not a detriment to the film at all because those films are really spectacular. I believe the strength of Big Hero 6 is the character Baymax, who, if you don't know his name yet, he's the big balloon guy. And cause I don't know how else to describe him. The big balloon guy. And he ends up being a personal healthcare assistant. And after a tragedy, he's actually one of the... He's kind of the person that gets Hero, who's Big Hero 6, but it's actually Hiro, I think.
It is an actual Japanese name.
Yeah, because they live in San Francisco, which actually ended up being pretty cool. I didn't get it, but it was cool to see the animation of the city itself, and just seeing like the elements of Tokyo and the elements of San Francisco merged into one. It was pretty cool. I don't understand it, but it looked very cool. I love the character Baymax. He was funny. He was adorable. It was, and this movie had a very good message, for kids. And I think the one glaring weakness that this had is the villain. The villain made no sense to me. As quick thoughts, those are mine. I really enjoyed the film. I think it's a good film for that both kids and adults can enjoy.
Yes, I agree. Baymax was, kind of the emotional crux of the film, and his relationship with Hiro, really, really made it, so to speak. As far as criticisms go, I agree that the villain was kind of weak. His motivations were flimsy, and he's kind of like, they kind of try to make him sympathetic, but it's like, dude, you're really overreacting, and it's, so... I mean, in terms of like his look and his powers and stuff, he was cool. But yeah, the motivation was kind of lacking. I thought that well, the title "Big Hero 6" means that there are six heroes, and apparently they're big.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of focus on Hero and Baymax, which we should as they're the main characters. But the problem with it being an 80-minute long kids movie is that the other four characters kind of suffer.
That's true.
It's like they're introduced, they go away for like 20 minutes, and then they come back, and it's like we're all heroes, and it's like oh. Okay.
That's true.
We don't really get the chance to know them as well, and they don't have the same character development or anything. So maybe we'll get that if we get sequels, and I'm sure they get more development in the comics and everything. But that was something that seemed kind of rushed in the movie, but. Overall, it was very good. The emotional journey. You felt that it was beautifully animated.
It was,
especially like I can't San Francisco.
Yeah,
that's it. I have trouble saying that, but it looked really cool. I thought that was cool to just merge those two cities. I mean, why not? But very well animated. Again, not quite in the Wreck-It Ralph Frozen tier, but not too far below, and definitely a good effort.
I'm totally with you. So go see Big Hero 6. It was really very good. All right, now we're gonna move into Interstellar. We have about 8 minutes, so we're just gonna get into it. I would like you to start off the Interstellar talk.
Okay.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Pressure on. Okay, Interstellar takes place in a world that's some number of years in the future. It's hard to tell, probably at least a few decades. And humanity is slowly dying because of this like storm thing-ish called blight, and it's just killing all their crops, and they don't have enough food. So Matthew McConaughey stars as what's his first name? Something Cooper.
Oh my God, yeah, he's called Cooper throughout the entire film. I really don't know. I've seen the movie 3 times. It's messing with my mind. Okay, I'll figure it out. But
okay.
Yeah, you go.
But anyway, so he's basically just called Cooper. And he plays a former NASA pilot guy, but now he's a farmer, and he's trying to raise his kids and trying to, raise them right and everything, especially his young daughter Murph, who is clearly a very bright child, and eventually they get caught up in what remains of NASA, who have discovered a wormhole that leads to another solar system, and they want to go there and check out the planets and see if there's anywhere that any planet that might be suitable for human life, and that starts the movie basically. And Joe's gonna look up his name, and he's being very discreet about it.
Right.
So anyway, that's the main plot of the movie. As far as a critique of the movie goes, it's really, really good. And let's just get this out of the way. It's way better than Gravity. It's not even close. When you look at Sandra Bullock's forced, contrived character development in that movie, and you compare it to the natural, believable character development in Interstellar, it just shows how that's supposed to be done. And much like in Big Hero 6, the main thrust of the movie is the bond between Baymax and Hiro Hamada. In this movie, it's the bond between Matthew McConaughey and his daughter Murph. I mean, his character's name is not Matthew McConaughey.
Cooper.
Oh, good.
But that's his last name.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
So
look it up on Wikipedia. They usually have both.
This is terrible. We're going to spend the entire review trying to figure out Matthew McConaughey's name. Oh, man.
So anyway, so emotionally it's very gripping. It's a long movie, but that gives you a chance to get to know these characters. It's a long while before they even go off into space and get into all that. So you really get to know Cooper. You really get to know, Murph and his whole relationship with the family. It's very well cast. Matthew McConaughey, acts his heart out. Mackenzie Foy is very good as Murph. You know, the entire cast is great. Anne Hathaway, um, you know, other people who's Michael Caine. You know, it's just a very, very well cast movie. Um, and, you know, the visuals are amazing. You know, just some incredible CGI and all sorts of things like that. You know, when they go through the wormhole, it's like you're going through the wormhole, and that's, you know, that's incredible. And I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'm only seeing Cooper. Like I don't know, but but his name is Cooper Cooper. I don't know, but okay. So I totally agree with everything you said. We tend to fall on the side of that this movie was. I really think it was a masterpiece, and I, you know, people are really nitpicking it, and I don't really understand why. Like it's beautifully shot. The foundation is it's beautifully shot. The visuals are amazing. You should see this in IMAX. You should see this in an XD theater. You know the character development is incredible, and you know the emotion that's provided because that character development is fantastic. The casting is the best in a Christopher Nolan movie ever, and that's saying a lot because he has great. Wow, it's me! Oh my God, Joe Cooper. Thank God.
Well, Joseph.
Whatever.
But...
Yeah. No. He likes to be called Joe, like me. Forget the Seth. So, yeah, like I said, the best cast in a Nolan movie ever. I mean, you have these Oscar-worthy actors, you know, leading the way as Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, and it's just from top to bottom. Like you said, Mackenzie Foy, she's a fantastic. You get worried with child actors, and she was absolutely fantastic. You know, and that was really an important role in the film because if you don't care about their relationship, the movie fails very early in the film. You don't care, and the relationship that they built was fantastic. You know, it just everything about it, how it all wrapped together. It was like to me, it was just fantastic and just a great theater experience. And